Okay, so in this video I'll be showing you how to deploy an image to a desktop machine. In this instance it is an Optiplex 5090. I'll be using Macrium 8 deployed from a USB key, and this is USB-C, so for those of you that know your USB versions, it is the USB 3. So for those of you that know your versions, that is the one with the blue underneath there. And if we go up here, there is the blue. So what's the significance of that? Well, quite simply, it is faster to deploy. That's the only real significance of it. So you plug in your USB key and you simply basically make sure that your actual machine is plugged in. And then from there, you press the power button and you press F12. Keep pressing F12 on the keyboard until you see this pop up, and at the top right hand corner you'll see preparing or something of that nature. It's literally a second before it goes into the BIOS. So in this instance then we need to find which is the location of the source of the boot device, and we want the USB key. Now in this instance I can recognize it as UEFI verbatim store and go. For you, you'll just need to make sure that you can identify the name of your USB key with the deployable image. So I double click that and then let it boot to the USB key. As I said, there it's there. Now again, this video is kind of aimed at those from beginners upwards, so please have patience if you are an expert in these kind of areas. But again, hopefully you might learn something from it in terms of something new. So as I said, it's Macrium Reflect 8, and this is a trial version. So there's two pieces of software. You have one on the desktop where you create the USB key that is deployable, which is here, and you don't necessarily need the full software for this. You can get the trial version. And so that is it, Macrium Reflect 8. So it boots into the USB key, and the next thing now is to source the actual, get the source image. So if I click Browse, and again, it's up to you now, depending on what the name of your particular source image is. So in my instance, it's called Light Image. Double click on that, press that, and press OK. Okay, so that's the image that I want to restore. That's the image on the USB key that I want to transfer onto the actual particular computer, which is here. So the internal hard disk drive on the computer. So I go here and I press Restore. So I press Restore there. And from there then I choose Target. So down here then I have two options. I have disk 2, as you can see there's an icon here, so it shows you that's the USB key, and this shows you that it's the disk within the actual computer. And since there are only two, then I know that it's the top one is the one that's going to be my target disk, the internal disk. So I choose that. And then from there, what I do is I press Erase Disk. So I erase the disk, so that is, I'm erasing this disk inside the computer. So I just press that, Erase Disk. And then from there, I can do two options. I can simply go straight to Next. But if I do that, it won't shrink. It'll just carbon copy the size without extending or shrinking to the size of the disk. So this is important. So instead, what I do is I press Copy Partitions. And then I press Shrink or Extend to fill the target. So in other words, if the target disk is smaller than the source disk, then it will shrink the source image down to the size, and vice versa. So if I press that, so there we are, it's actually filled up the whole partition there. And I simply press Next. And I press Finish. And then I press All Target Volume Data will be overwritten, tick that on, and press Continue. and it works its magic. And let me see there that it worked through. We'll just want to give you an overview of how long it will take. Shouldn't take more than about 2 minutes, depending on your particular specification and SSD on your particular computer. Okay, so it's nearly finishing there, and you will see shortly a notification stating that it's complete. And as you can see, in this particular instance, it's only taken 2 minutes. Again, it's very much dependent on the specification of your particular computer. So press close. Now in this instance, it's deployed, as I said, directly now to the actual, it's deployed the image from the USB key successfully onto the actual computer. Now usually when you do this, especially with new machines, it's the image, if it's Windows, will be sysprepped. So that indicates that it's going to be completely new, fresh out of the box experience. You need to put back in the license key and so forth. So what I suggest you do is go down to the bottom there, press the power key, and then press shutdown. Now you can do it at the top too by pressing file. And then at your leisure, you can reboot into the experience of the sysprep out of the box. Thank you for watching.